Morning. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Just introduce yourself. Good morning.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Good morning to everyone. I am Abdullah Bukola. I'm a student of University of Ibadan, Department of Agricultural Economics, and I'm privileged to be part of this program. Last week, I enjoyed the teachings of the two speakers that we had. It was so fascinating, and I'm glad to be part of today's program too. Thank you for giving us the privilege to
Let's keep introducing ourselves.
If you want to introduce yourself, kindly unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself while you introduce yourself.
Unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Just unmute yourself and then introduce yourself. You are welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Jibade Aria Nathaniel.
Thank you. Thank you. For those
Yes.
participants that are linked with us on YouTube, it may be difficult for you to introduce yourself, but we know that you are there. I'm glad to also see Professor Fola Fakonle from OAUTH joining us. Prof, good morning. You are welcome. Introduce You are welcome. Prof, I can see your face.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I
Prof.
can see yours too.
That's very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Some of the participants are also watching us live on YouTube.
Okay.
So it's a great privilege having you here.
Thank you.
I'll be glad that you introduce yourself personally so that everybody we are all introducing ourselves just to interact before Chief Onibide to come up.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, ma'am.
I am Professor Fola Fakonle of the Obafemi Awolowo University. I'm a professor of anesthesia. Well, what else would you like to know? I'm also a medical doctor.
Wow.
And I'm a teacher and a trainer of several generations of
Wow.
both undergraduate and postgraduate doctors. Thank you. I teach doctors, I teach nurses, I teach physiotherapists, I teach, well, non-doctors.
That's fantastic. It's a privilege.
You're welcome, Maria.
It's a privilege
Thank
having
you.
your
Thank you very much.
She's a mentor to us here, and if you check our website, you see her picture there. She's actually behind African Young Brain, and she's always there every time. And next week, when we'll be doing the closing ceremony, rejoicing with those people who participated, you will see her face. You will share with us on one or two things. So can another person also introduce yourself, unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Bukola, you introduce yourself. I'm expecting Blessing to also say something. Blessing, Chris. Just unmute yourself. And we have our second guest speaker. He has joined us, Mr. Benga. You can also introduce yourself. There is no restriction. Let's just interact together before Chief Onibide will join us by 10:30.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for the privilege, sir. I'm Blessing Joseph by name. I'm a master's student of University of Ibadan in the Department of Guidance and Counseling, specialized in adolescent psychologist. Thank you. It's such a rare privilege to be here. I'm grateful.
As you probably can see, we are having people joining us. Let me at this time introduce to you our moderator for this session of today. She did the same job last week, and today she's also here with us, and that's Temitope Koladele. She's the head of Secretariat of African Young Brain, and VIP management. She is also the program director for our annual meetup for this 2020 edition. She's going to chair, direct, and ensure that we hold it. And I'm sure she's strategizing and planning. Over to you. And I will also assist her. And I have someone here also volunteer to read citation. That's Samuel. We already having Professor Chief Onigbide joining us. Can you clap and welcome Chief Onigbide, as I can see him joining already? It's a great privilege having you with us. Chief Onigbide has just joined us. Let us welcome him. We can unmute everybody. It's a great privilege having him. Let us welcome Chief Onigbide.
Welcome, Chief Onigbide. Welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
It's a great.
Welcome,
I know Professor Fola Faponle, Professor our FISI for Landmark, they will understand. Some of us, we are very, very, very young. It's a great privilege having Chief Onigbide with us. You are welcome, Chief.
Thank you.
But he has not joined with audio. I know he's going.
Umar.
I offer to our moderator, she will.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we have two speakers for this today's session this morning. The first speaker is Chief Onigbide, the former Super Eagle coach. He'll be taking us on the topic, tactical examples of triumphant captains and team leaders. And the second speaker is Mr. Gbenga Adebambo, the Dean of Schools for EAC and Youth Empowerment Coach. He'll be taking us on the topic, becoming a young leader with high capabilities for great transformation in Africa. I want us to all get prepared because these people are loaded and a lot will be learned from them. I want us to get prepared and stay tuned for today's program. Femi, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Hello?
Hello, I'm there. Hello, can you hear me? So
Yes, I can hear you.
I think we are having challenge with Chief Onigbide audio. So let's take time for him to have the speaker activated. So while we are waiting for that, let's keep introducing ourselves. I can see a name here. I want to know more about him. Tomiwa Olayanju. Can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Tomiwa Olayanju. I'm a student of Landmark University, electrical engineering, 300 level.
Thank you very much. Let's keep introducing ourselves until we can hear.
You're welcome. Kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Yeah, Mr. Gbenga Adebambo already here, our second speaker for today. Mr. Gbenga, can you hear me, sir? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Gbenga.
Yes,
Can you
hello?
please introduce yourself, sir? You're welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Gbenga Adebambo speaking. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Kindly introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, my name is Gbenga Adebambo. I'm a youth empowerment coach, and I'm also the editor-in-chief of Maximum Impact Magazine. I am a columnist in the Guardian newspaper, and
Wow.
on some other tabloids here in Nigeria and abroad. I'm also into education. I'm privileged to be the Dean of Schools of Educational Advancement Center here in Ibadan. I'm a mentor on the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program. And then also I work closely with the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. I work closely with the Honorable Minister, His Excellency Sunday Akindare, on NYIF. NYIF is Nigeria Youth Investment Fund. It's something that we're going to unveil like in the next 1 month. It's about equipping youth with ideas, with funding. And then I think that's just me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. We are happy to have you here.
Thank you very much.
I can see, just introduce yourself. Just introduce yourself. Once you join, introduce yourself. I think we have Chief Onigbede already with us, but I cannot see his speaker working. So we are trying to sort that one out, but let's keep introducing ourselves. I can see one of my mentors here also, Bola Olayinka. We want you also to introduce yourself. We want to hear your voice.
Thank you very much, leaders, future leaders.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, our mentors, and those of us who have accepted to take us through this learning curve today. I'm extremely glad to be part of this very historic occasion, and I wish us successful deliberations. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
John Ogunjimi, I want to John Ogunjimi. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, Prof.
My name is
our Vice Chancellor.
My name is Adeni Yolayanju.
We are coming
a lecturer at the Federal University of Agric, Abeokuta, on special assignment as the Vice Chancellor of Landmark University. I want to once again congratulate the African Young Brain team. We want to appreciate you, sir, for the good job that you are doing, especially as it relates to youth empowerment.
Thank you.
The Sustainable Development Goal, the 17 of them all, you will notice that virtually all of them address the something on youth empowerment, starting with SDG 1 that talks about no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, talk of gender balance, SDG 6, talk about sanitation and clean water, SDG 7, talk about affordable energy, 8, talk about decent work, 9 talks about innovation, infrastructure, and industry. And of course, SDG 10 talk about reduce inequality. SDG 11 talks about sustainable community and cities. SDG 12 talks about reasonable consumption. SDG 13 talks about climate action. SDG 14 talks about life below the land, talking about agriculture and fishery. SDG 15 talks about life on land, talking about soil and soilless, talking about hydroponic technology. 16 talked about peace, justice, and unity. And of course, it landed on 17, having strong institution. All of the 17 SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, are what drives youth empowerment, because it talks about the ability of this present generation to meet our need without tampering with the future needs of the next generation. And who are the next generation, if not our youth? And so the earlier we begin to bring them on board, the better. And that's why I'm happy to be part of this I want to quickly acknowledge our mentor, Chief Onit-Binde. It's nice having you on this platform, and not talking about sport alone now, having the elders of our land talking to our youth. I think it's going to be an impactful session. I recognize Prof. Mrs. Fakmanli from Obafemi Awolowo University. We call them Obawa University, but UI is the greatest. But UI is the greatest. So you will see that all of us cut across. I've spoken about OAU, I've spoken about UI, Federal University, I've spoken of Landmark. You will see that all of this is all encompassing. It's all about developing our youth. And so I want to admonish our youth to be at home. You are in right hand. They are the one putting all their best in without looking. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we cannot see the microphone of Chief Onit-Binde. I'm trying to chat with him to activate his mic. It's the challenge we're having now. But as we are waiting for that one, can we have other people introducing? Gideon Osun Dara, I've not heard your voice. We have been together in the class. Gideon, introduce yourself. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
I think we have to take Mr. Our second speaker. Are you ready so that we'll take your own while we are sorting out with Chief Onit-Binde? Hello.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Adibambo.
Can we take your own while we are trying to sort out with Chief Onit-Binde?
Okay, but I hope the time will not be muddled up in any way.
Oh, it will, because you have some people that you invited, right?
You know, the flyers that the e-flyers that you design actually carries the time. So I was wondering if.
Okay, no problem.
That will not
What
be...
we do is that let's take the, while we are waiting for Chief to activate. We can see his face now. I think. Let me try and focus his. Probably we'll be able to. Yes, Chief, we are waiting for your. Can you see his face? Participant, can you see his face? Chief, we can't hear you, sir. Can you, hello, sir, can you on your microphone? Your microphone is off. Okay, Prof is trying to connect his microphone now. I think let's just time to do that. That's technology for us. And for those of us that we are here, Chief Onit-Binde is 82 years old.
Wow.
82 years old. You can imagine his commitment to 82 years old. And can I ask Sam Samuel, are you there? Samuel, are you there? Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you. I'm here, sir.
Can you read the citation of Chief Onigbede for us?
Okay, that's no problem, sir. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Probably the person will have actually helped to add the one. Can you read the citation?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Oyekunle Johnson Samuel is my name. I am indeed grateful for this opportunity to read the citation of this prestigious man, a former Nigerian coach, and a man with so much dignity in the society. Okay, I will begin right away. First, Osatego Onigbede undoubtedly remains one of the greatest football coaches to come out of the African continent, where he became the first indigenous coach to take the Super Eagles, then known as the Green Eagles of Nigeria, to the African Cup of Nations, where he led Nigeria to the finals in 1984 in Cote d'Ivoire. It is noteworthy as well to know that Chief Festus Adegboye Onigbede was born on the 5th of March 1938 in the city of town of Modakekerada, and is a Nigerian football manager who coached the Nigerian national team known as the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the 2002 African World Cup in Korea and Japan. He is often referred to as the tactician, and what earlier in 1983, before his exploit at the 2002 FIFA World Cup in Korea and Japan, took over the national team from the Doms of the African Cup of Nations in 1976 and 1978. Built it from the scratch to qualify the national team for the AFCON final in 84 in Cote d'Ivoire. And it is noteworthy as well to know that Chief Festus Adegboye Onigbede is a manager that looks out for intelligence, not only intelligence, dedication, performance, and the ability to motivate as a leadership quality in a footballer, as he believes he won't be out there to do the motivation for them on the pitch, and they need to learn all of this ethics while on the pitch. And these are all the things that he takes as a mantra that he instills into the footballers he has coached over the course of his coaching career. And as well, Chief Adegboye Onigbede is a veteran coach and a synonymous figure in Nigerian football household, and remains a point of reference not only in our country, Nigeria, but in the entire continent of Africa, as well as having ensured that the hands of history rested on his shoulder each time he canvasses the Super Eagles of Nigeria and all other teams he has managed to any continental showpiece or events. And it's not really as well to know that Chief Festus Adegboye Onigbede started his coaching career in the 1960s, and he was reportedly trained by the then national team coach Betty Halevi from Israel. Then he rose to the role of assistant when British Alan Hawks led the Shooting Stars Football Club of Ibadan to Nigeria's first continental victory when they clinched the 1976 CAF Cup winners, now known as the CAF Confederation Cup. Well, it is important that we know this about the prestigious Chief Adegboye Onigbede, a man who is so much respect in the Nigerian football world and in the African continent, that with his work getting noticed from all over corners of Nigeria and beyond Nigeria, he took over the national team job from Otto Gloria, who guided Nigeria to the maiden AFCON title on home soil in 1980. Chief Festus Adegboye Onigbede, in his 2 spells with Nigeria, had a relatively impressive record and picked 13 wins, 17 draws, and 7 losses out of the 37 matches he took care of with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And on a last note, his experience working around the continent for over 4 decades, and I found that the belief in him that more faith should be shown on African tacticians, arguing that given time and resources, they can be successful. This is more to say, Chief
Kindly unmute.
Hello, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, you can hear you now.
Okay, I just finished the citation, so I'll take the last line again that precedes the bringing Chief Festus Adegboyeni video on board. Lastly, his experience working around the continent for over 4 decades has affirmed the belief in him that more faith should be shown on African transition, arguing that given time and resources, they can be successful. Everyone to put our hands together to welcome the prestigious and dignified Chief Adegboyeni Bide, who is mostly known as being the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria over the course of the years. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. You are welcome. I think we still have that same challenge, and I've tried to reach Chief. Probably nobody actually, but we can all see his picture, right? And we can see that it's live. I think he's having problem activating his microphone. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
So what we do now is that we quickly discuss one or two things about managing.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Good. What we need to do now to manage the time on our hand is, what are the good quality of a coach? What are the good quality? What are the quality of outstanding tactician? We strongly believe that while we are discussing this, Chief also will likely activate his microphone, and then will be able to join us. So as a coach, Mr. Gbenga Adebambo, what are the good qualities, outstanding quality of a coach? I want you to lead that conversation while we raise our hand to contribute.
Number one, I want to say as a coach, one of the very good qualities is your ability to create a platform for every member of your team to be themselves. It's very, very, very important. One of the major things that a coach does is to create a platform where he or she can harmonize the strength and also manage the weaknesses. I'm very careful with my word, where he can maximize the strength, then also manage the weaknesses. So the first quality of a coach is creating the platform for this to be done, to maximize the strength of the team members and also to manage their weaknesses. Then secondly, a coach must be able to perform an on-spot SWOT analysis. What do I mean? We all know what SWOT analysis is, SWOT. As a coach, you must be able to know the strength of your team. You must be able to know their weaknesses. You must be able to know the threat, and you must be able to know the opportunity. So I think in a summary, a coach is somebody that maximizes the strength of the team member towards a common goal while also managing their weaknesses. That's just a summary.
Thank you.
With that, I would like to also hear from Bola Olayinka, our mentor, to also speak to that. What are the outstanding qualities of a coach?
Thank you very much, our eminent coordinator. It's a great privilege on my part to be part of this very important forum. The function of a coach, with all due respect to our father and our mentor, from my own little perspective and experience, I would like us to go memory lane A notable coach, a notable national coach of the Brazilian national team, when he was asked, who is a coach? He gave a very, very unique definition. He said, a coach who is similar to a manager of resources is someone who is fired or about to be fired. In other words, a coach is someone who has responsibilities and must be able to stand up to those responsibilities. A coach is on the firing line, and a coach must use the resources to generate results. There must be well-defined goals, and those goals must be clearly communicated. And of course, every member of the team must play his or her role to ensure the fulfillment of those goals. Thereafter, there is always the need to report the stewardship, which of course can lead to the coach being fired or being rewarded. So whichever way it comes, a particular organization in UK has a tradition. Before you can be appointed into executive position, you must have been fired somewhere else. You must have gone through the Rubicon. What does it take for you to lead a team and to be challenged with a result? And whichever way it comes out, you should be able to stand up. And I think those are part of what we actually need in our country, and for our youth to imbibe that being a coach or a manager or a leader is not just about the position or about the title or about rolling on a very lovely seat or be given a very good, perks of office, but it's about responsibility. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you so much. I hope we paying attention and we are putting one or two things. Great. My moderator, because I'm speaking on behalf of Chief Onigbede now, can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Now I want to have Bukola Abdullahi. Are you there? Bukola Abdullahi. When we talk of triumphant captains, what do you understand?
Bukola,
what us on triumphant captain? If you are to be a coach, what are those qualities of captains that you'll be looking for?
Okay, sir. Okay, a triumphant captain firstly must have a sense of leadership, and the sense of leadership has to do with positive influence. Then, secondly, must have a winning attitude, which means because there will always be challenges along the journey, but triumphant captain must have a winning attitude. Then a triumphant captain must also be a team player, must be able to carry the team along. Then a triumphant captain must also be sensitive to environmental factors, both the team and the environment they play in. Um, okay, uh, a triumphant captain must also be knowledgeable, must have must be must have acquired a degree of knowledge to a certain level and of skills too, And our triumphant captain must also be patient. I think it's one of the core attitudes from a captain, sir. This is the little that I can say. Hello.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can see Chief Onigbede that is trying to speak to us. Probably his speaker is not working perfectly there, and there's no way I can reach out to him. to operate the gadgets with him. What I want us to do is for another person, let me call another person, Israel Adelaja. Are you there? Israel Adelaja, can I hear your voice?
Yes, sir.
And then let's see your face too. What do you understand by team leader? Team leader, and what are the quality of a team leader? The team leader now, captain and a team leader, there is a little difference between a team leader and a captain.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
All right. I'm very grateful for the opportunity given to me to also contribute this morning. So when we are talking about a captain, like the speakers who have spoken earlier have rightly said, a captain is a leader. A captain is a manager. But when we're now talking about a team leader is somebody who manages a team. And if we should go by the definition of the word team, it means together. Everybody accomplish more. So for everybody to accomplish more, they need a leader who can manage them. So a team leader is someone who has a team spirit. And when I talk about a team spirit, I'm talking about that spirit to manage the differences of everybody in the team. In a team, we have people with different capacity, different ability, different capability. So a team leader is somebody who have that spirit, who have that passion, who has that knowledge to manage everybody in a team. And a team leader is result-oriented because every team has a result to achieve. So as a team leader, you must be result-oriented. There must be a dream that is driving you as a team leader. And number two, a team leader also has vision. That is a vision that is also driving the team leader. That will help the team leader to ensure that everybody in the team, they are all working towards achieving his dream, achieving his vision, and achieving his purpose. Thank you, sir.
Great. I strongly believe that we are all learning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an interactive session. And I know that Chief Onigbide is happy that we are celebrating him by sharing together, even on the topic that's supposed to handle with us. Now, I want to ask Asak Oyewole, am I correct, to unmute herself and also tell us our own view about a team leader. Are you
Good morning,
there?
everybody. I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? How is everything? Please, I'm on the road. Meanwhile, what it means to be a team leader? Team, as somebody has Israel has said, is a group, is a team, is people. Oh, can I come back later? Can you call me back? I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm on the road.
No problem.
I'm sorry, sir.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Can Tomiwa Olayanju share with us? If you were to be a team leader, what are your expectations from your team member? Tomiwa Olayanju. Hello.
Good morning.
Can we unmute?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, for me, leader, I think a team leader is someone that actually understands the goal and objective of it. And he knows when there are opportunities, and he's always involved, and his commitment to the team. And let me say his rate of consistency is higher than anyone else on the team. And he also respects people's opinion and is honest. Yes, that's what I think of a team leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we and can we have Oyekunle sharing? Oyekunle, are you there? Samuel.
Yes, yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
I know you like sports, right? In business, we often look for people that are striker, who can score goals, who can achieve objective, and in leadership also. So can you share your experience? Probably you pick 2, 3, 4 strikers that you know, and what are the quality that they have that actually made them to win laurel for the team?
Like, can you please repeat the question, sir? I could barely hear you when you started, sir.
I said you like sports, right?
Yes, I do, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want you to share with us what are the good quality of strikers.
So good strikers, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. The striking position is the striking position is quite an important position in the game of football, and it's such a very important position in that the strikers are the one tasked with the responsibilities of putting the ball at the back of the net, and the defensive line, the midfield position, if they've done their job and the striking position can't do their job well, I think the efforts of the whole other departments on the football pitch will yield to nothing. So the first thing a good striker must possess as a quality is an ability to run between the lines. What do I mean by this is simply because when the ball gets to the midfield position, the midfield position makes a transition, the defensive position makes a transition between the defensive line and the midfield line. To put the ball to the striker, you are not expected to be static. There has to be an ability of a striker, ability of yours to run between the lines, to run between the lines of the defense or opposition defense. So the first thing as a striker is for you to be able to run between the defensive line of your opposition so that the ball can reach you. You're not expected to be static, because when you're static and the ball is put to your feet, the opposition defender will definitely take it off your feet. So these are the kind of qualities the likes of Robert Lewandowski, as Kylian Mbappe, and Mohamed Salah and Harry Kane, to talk about a few of them. So that's the first thing. You must be able to run in between the lines so that the defender with a long ball from the back or the midfield, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, we talk about Jordan Henderson and Toni Kroos of this was put the ball at your feet. And secondly, you must have this physicality. As a striker, if you don't have this physicality, you can definitely be pushed off the ball in an easy manner. You look at Didier Drogba. Drogba is quite physical. If you have seen Didier Drogba very well, he's quite huge and tall that you can't just push Didier Drogba off the ball anyhow. There has to be a lot of work a striker has to do in the gym to build his own physicality. So as a striker, if you're not quite physical, the ball will be taken off your feet, and you don't have the tenacity, the strength to push the ball at a far distance. So when we talk about striker with much physical strength, we talk about Robert Lewandowski, the Drogba of this world, and Luis Suarez, David Villas of this world, who has retired as well, and Delima Ronaldo, who has retired as well. These are the attributes they possessed that made them thrive in their football career, scoring quite a number of goals, over 200 number of goals. The another
how do you lesson can we learn in leadership as a young leader, as a professional from these strikers? That I want you to relate to leading in Africa, leading your organization, leading the community as a striker.
Okay, all right, sir. First and foremost, I will cite Didier Drogba as an example in the national team. One thing that comes as a leader, Drogba is the captain of the national team when he was still on board. Drogba was a good communicator. It's another thing to be able to speak, and it's another thing to be able to communicate to those you are leading. It's two different things. When you have an idea, when you have a lot of strategy and tactics you need to throw off to your team members as a coach, as a leader, you must have the ability to be able to communicate. So as to relate this to this award generally, as a leader, it's another thing for you to have an idea. You must be able to communicate with your personnel. You have people on board, you have people you're leading, you have a board that you oversee, and you have leaders over you. There should be the ability for you as an individual leader to be able to communicate, because an opinion, an idea, a strategy that lies within you, and you can't communicate well with your members, will just die there. There is a saying that a lot of people have ideas, but when they die, they just die with them. So you must be able to establish it with communication. So communication is a very important attribute that a good leader needs to have, that is relatable on the field of play as well. Just like I said, they was an example of the Algeria national team and a couple of other captains as well. And one other thing that you probably need to know as a leader is just your ability to be able to build relationship. Of course, you can't be leading people and expect everything to be swift and everything to be smooth within them. Of course, there will be differences between two people you are leading. There should be your ability as a leader to be able to build relationship with people. You are managing people. As a leader, you are a human resource manager. People often don't know that when you lead people, you're basically a human resource manager, and your ability to manage people should be something that is important to you. So you should be able to manage the people you are leading. When differences come in between them, when different opinions are shared, you align the opinions together and reach your conclusion that this is what we're going to do that will yield a benefit for the group, sir. And a leader as well must be innovative. It must not be static at the point. Things go ahead. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. I think we'll be able to learn from that. I want Professor Adeniyi to share his own experience in terms of tactics in assembling captains and team leaders. Professor Adeniyi, are you there, Prof? Professor, our Vice Chancellor. Professor Layoju, oh, it's like he's not there. Okay, let me give it to our mentor, Bola Olayinka. From your experience, you have worked in international organizations, Price Water, you have been MD of several companies. How has it been? How do you assemble your team leader, your captains, and what has been your experience?
Thank you very much, Coordinator. In brief, let me start by saying that setting goals will be crucial and will be a determinant factor in getting the correct DNA of the kind of teams we can put together. Personally, in my own little experience, one of the goals I set for myself is that the team I put together should be better and ahead of me, because there is a need for me not only to get those who are go-getter, but people who can sustain whatever goal we have initiated, and we experience succession, because a leader is not a leader until there is the baton being passed and we see the sustainability of those goals. It's very important for leaders to identify those who will not drop the ball. Just like in a football match, if you watch the chain link, because there are a lot of lessons that managers can learn from the game of football, you will discover that once we drop the ball along the line, it creates problem for the entire team, and winning will become an uphill task. But when we have a team who we know will be very careful, to accept responsibility not to drop the ball, then certainly we are moving towards the winning lane. That is very key. Secondly, we look for those who exhibit passion for what they are doing, who love what they do, and knowing fully well that even when they are paid for it, they are being paid for what they love to do. We've seen quite a lot of people who are always saying, what is in it for me? And they put the pecuniary benefit ahead of their contribution to the team or contribution to the goal. So it's always important for me to look for those who are fire eaters, passionate and committed people who definitely will key into the goal, and they play that role 24/7. And we know them once we see them, we see the fire in their eyes, and we know these are the kind of people who definitely can carry the can and be able to deliver. Of course, there might also be need for the leader to ensure there is a 24/7 commitment, watching out for introducing changes as we move in the ladder of that goal. Because sometimes we travel on the straight line, in another time we travel through the bend, and there might be need for us to look at the strategies. Even the goal remain the same, but the strategy and the tactics to achieve those goals, we might need to begin to tinker with them to make sure that we don't derail from that same goal. And we believe that over time, we can create some measures to determine how close we are getting to where we are going. Thank you.
This is fantastic. I learned a lot. But most importantly to me is the fact of succession, that we need to actually have succession. Then on the basis of the fact that we also set goal. Thank you so much for that. I have someone I want to speak, and if possible also to see the face. I have one Adeniyi. Are you there? I don't know whether it's my mentor, and I want to hear your voice on this issue of leadership and captain, team leader and captain. Adeniyi, can you unmute yourself? Hello? Moderator, can you help us unmute? There is one Adeniyi there. Hello? Okay, now let's go straight to anyone having question. Do you have any question that you want us to discuss? Any question that you would have loved Chief Onigbede to answer? We definitely will make another opportunity. We will make another arrangement where we have Chief Onigbede with us live. Any question for us to trash?
Mr.
Hello?
Coordinator, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I really feel so privileged that we have Chief Onigbede on our platform this morning. And I would have loved him to address the issue of diversity. How do we manage a national team with great expectations from Nigerians in particular, when you have a country that is made up of, diverse nationalities, and people are always reading meanings. Sometimes you see a football team and people will say, oh, it's an Igbo team. At other time, they will say it's a Yoruba team. And then sometimes they will say, oh, they are introducing federal character by using one Hausa player. For whatever reason, how would a national coach manage it in such a way that we will not deviate from the goals, because definitely it's when we achieve results that we can really create a milestones. And at the same time, we will satisfy the yearnings and the expectations of, football lovers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Although the chief, most likely chief is listening to us, but I will say one of two things. When I had one-on-one discussion with him at the early stage of planning for these events, he made me to understand, because most of us, we know him, that he's very, very destabilized Nigerian. He wants the very best. And he needs to understand that he doesn't want to have issue, because what we say on this platform, we go far. In actually having the best in any organization, in a family, there are some things that you must put aside. In selecting a team, Chief Onigbide will not look at where you come from, whether you are Yoruba or you are Igbo. And that is the quality we should all possess. He knows very well, for him to win, he must get the very best. And in getting the very best, that very best may come from the east, whereas he is from the west. That best may come from the north, and that best may come from the south. So for us as leaders, we must be courageous enough to pick the best, to look for the best, to search for the best, to stick with the best. And the passion at which we do it will make us to stand out. We should never, never give up, or because of what people are saying or what people will do, then we say, no, we are not going to do it. We will stand and we will do it. For you, as a mentor, we have known ourselves for more than, more than 30 years. And I know what you stand for, and you know what I stand for. So in whatever situation we find ourselves, we should just maintain that, and we should pick the best. And now let's go back to, or come back to the issue of sports. I'm not a sports person. Politics may be involved, a lot of concentration may be, pressure may be there, but for Chief Onigbide that I know, he will not allow that pressure to overwhelm him. He will want the very best. And that's why if you search the net, to him, he's satisfied, he's happy. He made me to say he's happy, he's fulfilled. As at 82, he's not looking for anything, but he's happy with the name he has been able to build. And I think that's my own submission. I don't know if any other person wants to also contribute. Just unmute yourself and contribute based on the question that our mentor raised. And it will have been wonderful that we have Chief Onigbide himself answering the question live. Yes, I want is Mr. Gbenga Adebambodia. You cannot hide for this because you are a coach.
Hello?
I said that. I said you are a coach too.
Yes, yes.
And I hope you listen to the question that our mentor asked.
Yes, sir. Well, one of the biggest problem we have when it comes to coaching and our national team has always been this issue of inclusiveness. We must try as much as possible to design a system that will select the best. And it's not just a mentality at the team level, but also even at the leadership level. Whether the leader of a state, the leader of a nation, the people that should rule us, the people that should be in leadership, there should be a system on ground to select the best. And so it's pervading everywhere. So we need to get the best from people. We need to create a system that will select the best, because it's only the best that is good enough. So it's a major problem. And just as you said earlier, I was very small then when Chief Onibine was piloting the affairs of our team. But one of the things that you will see then is inclusiveness. He did not allow anybody to be, let me use the language, a principality. You know, and you know, during his time, we're able to get the best from the team. So this issue of inclusiveness, designing the system that will get us the best, we still have a long way to go in this nation, and the Lord will help us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's great. Inclusiveness and a system that actually we bring out the best. Let's do it in our individual circle of influence where we are leading. We put in a system that will bring the best leader, the best candidate, the best person, and we will be able to see the results, and it will stand the test of time. I want Professor Layonju to also say something like that. Prof, are you there? Hello,
Hello,
Prof.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether you had the question that was put forward.
You can repeat it, sir.
The question is that in selecting team members for Nigeria football teams, we often see politics, consideration for what we're supposed not to even be part of the criteria in selecting the team member, and then that often lead to failure and defeat. The question is that what can we do about it? We wanted to hear from
thank you.
But he's not connected. His phone is not connected. So we are now saying you also have experience. How do you manage it from your own hand, selecting the best?
Thank you, sir. The joy of a leader is to have a good people around him. If you look at quoting from the scriptures now, the honor of a king is in the multitude of good people that surround him. So any good leader will always want to have good followers. I met the last speaker at the point where he was talking of inclusiveness. At times in leadership, in selecting your team, the issue of inclusiveness is subjective. Let me give you this example. While I was at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, we have a vice chancellor that at a time that we always have to use a particular set of people. And so one day, one of us asked him, why is it that it is only this set of people most of the time that usually call for assignment? His response to that individual, he mentioned him by name. And he said, when you become a leader or when you become a vice chancellor, surround yourself with people that will not give you a result. As much as the issue of selecting our team members, if you remember 1985 competition that we had, in this same country, more than 10 players came from the, I think, old Bender state, the one that we now have Edo and Delta. What the coach was looking for as at that point in time was not the issue of inclusiveness. He was looking for who are those people that will deliver. And eventually those people went and they deliver for us. It was at the point that we were saying, oh, so number must come from the north, another must come from the east, another must come from the west. Trying to spread it, that was when we begin to also have challenge. Let me quickly add this. The quality of any good leader, I think a coach, either a coach, a manager, a leader, a vice chancellor, a governor, or whoever, there are just 5 basic essentials. And while we were in the university, in order to get it right, we just call it POMDC. That is POMDC. Any good leader, when you have a project, because whether we like it or not, going for a competition is an equivalent of a project. So a good coach or a good leader, we first of all look at the level of planning. That's the first P. There has to be serious planning. Who are those people that I want to go with me in this particular match? You know, there will be a series of competition all over the country, and then they will begin to select people. So that is the first assignment there, the issue of planning. The next is organizing. After you have planned, you need to organize these people into team A, team B. In other words, you are supposed to have a backup. Now, okay, these are my best 15 or my best 22. Then we have another set. In case this one, because we never can tell, they may also want to take you to ransom. You will have a backup team. That is, we come up at the stage of organizing. Then the HEM talks about motivation. Nobody goes around with that kind of competition or project without motivating the people. If you remember, there was a time in this same country when people go for that kind of a competition and they come back and the only thing they collect is shaking of hand. A lot of people didn't like it, because whether you like it or not, you must learn to motivate people for the job they are going to do, not necessarily monetary. The issue of recognition is there. Look at profs today with all sense of apology and humility. It couldn't have been Baba that will be like this, and then they will not be, the federal government will not have a place to put Baba, and he will just be enjoying himself with all that he has done for us as a country. That is where the issue of motivation comes in. People want to know, even after this competition, if I have one challenge or the other, are these people up to? Will I be able to benefit from this thing at the end of the day? How many of them have played for us in this country? And then today, when they have one challenge or the other, or even outside challenge, is it that we cannot also settle them and let them also live good life? So a good coach or a good leader will also look at the aspect of motivating his team. And he did talk of directing. In other words, a coach will now say, okay, this is what I want. You are going to be a divider. You are going to be an attacker. All of that, they continue to work on it. And then eventually, you will notice that at that point in time, what the coach is doing is directing. In case they are not playing the way he wants them to play, it is the onus lies on him to say, no, as the coach, as a team manager, this is what I want you to do. So he directs them to do it. And the final thing that we do at the level of management or coach is to control. You have planned, you have organized, you have motivated people. You have also shown your experience in directing them what to do. Then at that point in time, you now have to exercise control. That is when you will see that coach like Chivoni Gide will say, I'm not going with this guy. At that point in time, it is not the only Gide that they know on the field, the coach that they are used to. No, because he knows that if he didn't come up and exercise control, at that point in time, they may not have what they are supposed to have. Remember, it's this same country that individual will go for matches abroad, and before you know it, they'll be going around with women and all of that, and at the end of the day, some may even miss their matches. So a good leader must have those 5 basic essential qualities of planning, organizing, motivating, directing, and controlling the team if you want to get results. And so our youth, as you are coming up, the African Young Brain, in whatever you do, even in your daily life, you can put this to practice. Learn to plan, learn to organize yourself, learn to get motivation or you motivate whoever is working with you. Learn also to direct, show them the way. Even God will say, this is the way, walk ye in. And finally, if you want to get results, learn to also exercise control. Thank you, sir, for this great opportunity.
Wow, this is excellent. You can see that we are not really, we are not missing too much. Though we would have loved Chief Onigbede to speak with us, but we have people that Chief Onigbede influenced and they can teach us. Thank you so much. We have just 5 minutes before we go to the next session. Is there anyone who is also having a question or there is an issue that you want us to clarify? Is there any question? You can check if you notice anyone that we have not answered on the chat, group chat, please raise it. You can unmute yourself and raise it. Okay, thank you so much for this session. What we will do collectively is that we will fix a day. We all will gather to visit Chief Adegboye Onigbede. We will give you our email address if you want to be part of that entourage. We will visit Chief Adegboye Onigbede, and I've promised him that definitely we'll visit him. And I'll be very glad if our amiable Vice Chancellor will be part of that team. I'll be so glad that we pay a visit to him. Everything is not money, but the fact that we are saying yes, we appreciate him. So, Chief, I want to nominate you to be the captain or the visit to Chief Adegboye Onigbede. I want you to say accepted or decline.
You know, thank you for the opportunity, sir. You know, I can't decline. Chief Onigbede is my mentor. And I know my boy, most of the time he will go out there play football all over the place at his leisure time. And I know what sport has done to us as a nation. But the challenge is, it depends on the timing. Especially now that states, you know, we are waiting for states to declare. Kwara State now has not declared the resumption opening. And so once that is done, you know, landmark will be agog. Our students will be coming back, and they want to see their king in form of the Vice Chancellor. And you know, the honor of a king, like I said, is in the multitude of his own small kings and queens of Landmark University. So once school resumes, I may not be able to. And that's why I will not be able to say yes or no. But I will look at my timetable. If it's going to be probably during weekend, yes, then we'll find a way. We will find a way around it. Just to encourage the youth, we will find a way around it.
Thank you very much. We will get back to you on that. Now we will give ourselves just 1 or 2 minutes for our second speaker to tell us that he's ready, and then we'll go for the second session. Just stay with us, just 2 minutes. I strongly believe he will say, yes, I'm set. Thank you. Our moderator, are you there?
Hello? Hello?
Are we set for the second?
Yes, sir, we are set, sir.
Okay, good. You will help us to read the citation for him, right?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
you.
Yes, I hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, we can.
Mr. Gbenga Adebambo is an international youth empowerment coach and youth advocate. His vision is to empower youth to become agents of transformation locally and globally. Gbenga is building an army of renewed thinking youth, a global movement that will usher in the next generation. He is a youth specialist and advocate with ample years of experience in helping companies and organizations to redesign and rebrand their product, services to be more youth-friendly and appealing. Gbenga Adebambo is a member of the Ministerial Focal Group on the establishment of Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, NYIF, which was constituted by the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, under the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, Nigeria. He is the editor-in-chief of the Maximum Impact magazine, a magazine that has been specially packaged to inspire, nurture, prepare, and impact the youth. He is the founder of the youth ministry called Stop It, Seeing Tomorrow's Opportunity and Potentials in Today, a ministry that is involved in discovering and nurturing hidden potentials in youth in order to equip them for tomorrow's challenges, opportunities, and responsibilities. He is presently the Dean of Schools at the Educational Advancement Center, a foremost advanced level school in Ibadan, Nigeria. He has been a speaker and resource person in the British Council conference tagged Schools Now in Abu Dhabi and the National Conference on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, sponsored by UNICEF in Abuja. He graduated from the University of Ibadan, where he had his BSc Pure Chemistry and MSc Analytical Chemistry. He is a columnist in the Guardian newspaper, where he runs a youth column every Saturday called Youth with Purpose. He also runs a column on NigerGist.com and the Good Men Project USA. Kindly join me in welcoming Mr. Gbenga Adebambo as he talks to us on the topic, becoming a young leader with high capabilities for great transformation in Africa. Mr. Gbenga, you're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, am I on now?
Yes, sir, you're on.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. I really want to use this opportunity to appreciate this laudable initiative called African Young Brain. I count this as an opportunity for me. I want to seriously appreciate the organizers and also the youth on this platform that are joining us. I believe we'll all have a good time. I think I have my slides here already, becoming youth leader with high capabilities for great transformation in Africa. The next slide, please. Thank you. Becoming an agent of transformation. The first thing I want to harp on is the fact that we need renewed thinking youth in Africa. I will actually want to emphasize that without a change of mindset, money won't help Africa. So to be an agent of transformation, you must be transformed yourself. Albert Einstein said something, he said, problem cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created it. So for us to transform Africa, then we need to think beyond the generic thinking level of others. The youth that will change and transform Africa must think differently. The youth that will transform the world are those that their renewed perspectives and ways of thinking transcend the common generic thinking of others. And today I'm going to be emphasizing 12 mindset shift. If you look at what Paul Kagame of Rwanda said, There's a quote there that I believe we can all read. And he said something about that the major problem of Africa is the failure of mindset, the failure of mindset. I don't need to read that quote. We all have it on the screen. And he said that in 2008 at the African Leader Forum held in Kigali. So the only major failure we have in Africa is a failure of mindset. So I'm going to be sharing with us 12 mindsets that every youth that want to be an agent of transformation in Africa must imbibe. And I'm going to lay a lot of emphasis on number one, because it's like the most important of all of them. So can I move to the next slide? So what is the number one mindset to be an agent of transformation in our community? Well, before I go into that, let me say this. Somebody said something. He said, you must learn a new way to think before you can master a new way to be. See, we are poor in Africa not because we lack anything, but because we are being led by leaders that are mentally bankrupt. So the challenge we have in Africa, because we need to know the challenge we have in Africa. The challenge we have in Africa is not material poverty. The challenge we have in Africa is mental poverty. Louis Hayes said something. He said, I do not fix problem. I fix my thinking. Then the problem fix themselves. So the first problem we need to fix in Africa is the mindset issue, the problem of our thought pattern. So today, I'm going to be sharing with us the 12 mindsets that we need to acquire as a youth to be an agent of transformation in Africa. Number one mindset is to have a personal vision statement. To have what? A personal vision statement. You see, if you don't have a personal vision statement, you will become an omission in your generation. I remember at the time, I needed to write out my personal vision statement clearly. You can, if you wake me up at any time, unambiguously, I can tell you what my vision statement is, and which is empowering youth to becoming agent of transformation locally and globally. But the problem is this: do we have youth with clear, unambiguous, and audacious vision statement? Because if you don't have a vision statement as a youth, it becomes relatively impossible for you to transform your environment. There's something in the presentation that says that when you don't have a strong and compelling vision statement, your ambition can be hijacked. I was in a university about some years ago. I was asked to come and address the students. And then I think they have a little bit above 500 students in attendance. And I asked them, I asked the students to write out their personal vision statement for me. It will amaze you that out of over 500 students, it was only 4 students that had a clear vision statement. You see, and I need to say this at this level, that being ambitious is different from being visionary. It is not ambitious youth that will transform Africa. It is visionary youth. So as a youth, to transform your environment, you first need to have a compelling vision, a vision that wakes you up. Somebody said something, the former president of India, Abdul Kalam, he said, your dream is not what you see in dream. He said, your dream is what keeps you from sleeping. So do you have vision statement that can wake you up? Do you have a vision statement that is so compelling, for you to transform your community? Can I move to the next slide? Thank you. So I'm going to be sharing examples of some people that we know too well, like Mark Zuckerberg, like I have many of them, like Steve Jobs, like Bill Gates, like Henry Ford. Look at the vision statement of Mark Zuckerberg. It said, building a social networking platform where people can communicate securely. Now, this was actually the vision statement that he had in Harvard. He was in Harvard before, and he had this passion for connecting people. So He sat down and built a vision statement. And when he was in Harvard, it was not Facebook then, it was called Face Match. So from Face Match to Facebook, the vision statement is still the same. Building a social network platform where people can communicate securely. Look at Steve Jobs. He said his own vision is to put a personal computer in a phone. I want us to know that today, courtesy of Steve Jobs, we can use our phone to perform any task that a computer can perform, courtesy of Steve Jobs' vision statement. When he was saying that in his time, people thought he was mad, but he was driven by that vision statement to see a phone or to see a personal computer in a phone. Look at Bill Gates. He said putting programs into computers and making it available on every desk in every home. Then look at Henry Ford. They call him the father of modern automobile. He said mass producing, affordable and cheap cars that everybody can buy, every American can buy. And look at Cohort-based. Let me just say Cohort-based is the brain behind the Hilton hotels. So when if you see Cohort-based there, that's the first Hilton. He's standing in the front of the first Hilton hotel. He said making what? Head to be what? Making planet Earth to be hospitable to Earth inhabitants. Then let's come home to our own Dangote. Look at what Dangote is doing today. He was driven by a personal vision statement, by a person. So you see, to transform your environment, to transform your community, I want our youth to know that you need to have a compelling, audacious vision statement. Can I move to the next slide? So all these people transform their generation with a strong and clear vision statement. So the first thing is to have a vision statement. As a youth, if you don't have a vision statement, you need to do something about it. You need to look at your goals. You need to look at your aims. You need to look at your target audience and use all these parameters to involve a personal vision statement. In fact, one of the things that I normally do with the youth in coaching is to help them build a strong vision statement that they can work with for life. So the number two mindset, don't forget number one vision statement is having a what? A personal what? A personal vision statement. For you to transform Africa as a youth, you must have a personal vision statement. Now the second one, which is mindset two, is being a solution provider through your skills, gift, and talent. You see, anybody that must be an agent of transformation must be solution-minded. A youth that is not solution-minded cannot transform his or her environment. And I want to say this because I've observed, I love education so much. I love schooling so much. But I want us to know that the world is not waiting for your certificate as youth. The world is not waiting for your certificate. The world is not waiting for your degrees. The world is waiting for the problem that you solve through your skills, talent, gift, and unique abilities. So youth that cannot solve problems, no matter how much certificate and degrees they have accumulated, are liabilities to their communities. So I, as a youth, please acquire education, go to school. But please also know that until you know what you have acquired, until you know how to use it to solve problems, you are still a liability to the society. So it is not all about degree, it is not all about certificate, it is about your ability to solve problems. So we need youth that can see beyond their certificate to solve problems in their communities. And one of the problems we have in Africa is that we find fault more than we find solution. We find fault more than we find solution. Can I move to the next slide? Thank you. So having a solution mindset, it's very, very, very important. Now, let me say something. I studied, just as it has been said earlier, I studied chemistry in UI, both undergraduate and postgraduate level. But I want you to know that the problems that I'm solving today are beyond my certificate. I didn't study mentoring in school. I didn't study empowering the youth in school. I studied chemistry. I didn't study helping youth overcome addiction. I didn't study guiding youth in relationship choice or writing impactful book or being an entrepreneurship coach. Those were not the things that I learned in school. And I want to say this at this forum. I thank God that I was able to cite some professors on this platform, the VC of Landmark. I was so excited when I saw him and Professor Fakonle. You see, our school, our tertiary institution should be solution-oriented. You know, we should design our curriculum in such a way that there will be a connection between the gown and the term. Because most of the time when people leave schools, we just realize that they are unable to solve the problems in the society because they've not been able to, acquire the necessary skills to solve problems. So our curriculum should be designed towards problem solving. It's not just accumulation of facts. We should design our curriculum to solve problems in society. See, many youths are running after certificate and degrees to elevate their status instead of acquiring skills to solve problems. So the proof of going to school is your certificate, but the proof of your education is in your ability to solve problems. So any youth that cannot solve problem in his or her community is a liability. And we must, as youth, we must not be a liability. Look at what you have acquired with your certificate. Look at the skills that you have acquired. Look out for your latent gift and talent, your unique abilities, and ask yourself, how can I use this to solve problem in my society? So it's not just going about with your certificate or with your degrees. It's very, very good. I have my certificate, I have my degrees, but we are as relevant as we are solving problem in the society. Then I want to say this, and I want us to all hear this. You see, the problems that we have been called to solve, we put a demand on skills that are beyond our certificate. The problem, I say that again, the problems that we have been called to solve in the society, we put a demand on skills and unique abilities that are beyond our certificate. Can I go to the next slide? So please, don't forget the first one is having a strong vision statement. Then the second one is having a solution mindset, gleaning together your skills, your unique abilities, the experience that you have acquired through your certificate and your degrees towards solving problem. Because until you solve problem, and I want to say this emphatically, if you ask me to define what an illiterate is, I will tell you that an illiterate is somebody that cannot solve problem in his or her environment. Now, the third one, or let me say the third mindset, is finding your place and part in life. You have to find your place and part in life to solve problem in your environment. You need to know your place. To transform Africa, you need to find your part. Miles Monroe, blessed memory, said something. Said some people don't know who they are, so they die as someone else. So the third mindset is to go on a journey of self-discovery. You see, this lack of self-discovery is the #1 cause of identity crisis among the youth. And I want to say this emphatically: until you discover your path, you will continue to travel in another man's journey. I say this again: until you discover your path, you will continue to travel in another man's journey. You can't transform the world if you have not discovered yourself. I've never seen, if you go and read the stories of people that have transformed the world, there are people that discover themselves. So people that have found their place in life will always employ people that are looking for a place to work. I say that again. People that have found their place in life will always employ people that are looking for a place to work. So you need to find your path. You need to find your place. And how do you find your path? How do you find your place in life? I said something that I said, if you don't find your place, you'll be displaced. It is relatively impossible for you to be displaced in life if you know your place. And Socrates said something, said, man, know thyself. So the third mindset has to do with you discovering your place and part in life. Discovering your place and part. And how do you find your part? I've actually itemized it here. P-A-T-H. To find your part in life, #1, you have to find and follow your passion. The youth that will transform Africa, they are the youth that are following their passion. I said something that said, follow your passion, because your passion is the effortless route to discovering your purpose. The second one is your unique abilities. Not knowing your abilities is the greatest form of disability. Then the third one is discovering your talent and gift. In fact, I normally tell people, you know, if you want to know the best place to put people, it is in the area of their talent and their gift. Then the last one, discover your heart, where your heart is. And you know, the Bible says in Matthew 6:21, said, for wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So to find your part in life, you need to find your passion, find your abilities, your talent and gifts, then your heart. When you're able to find, you know, coin this, you know, find this all together, then you see you become a solution in your environment, you know. Because when you are, it is what you are passionate, is the problem you are passionate about that you can find solutions to. The next slide. I'm still on that third mindset, finding your place and part in life. You see, I want to also review to us another unique way of finding ourselves in life. Somebody said something, said, until you discover the purpose in your pain will remain painful. And I'm going to make reference to the late Dora Akunlue and the late Mandela. You know, we all know Dora Akunlue very, very well. Is a former director of NAFDAC. She lost her sister to this issue of fake drugs. And from that pain came a purpose. And when she came in, she was able to fight all these fake drug traffickers to, you know, to the last of her blood. So whatever pain that you are going through, in fact, I normally tell the youth that I address, I said, look, what you are going through is linked to where you are going to. As a youth, you need to know that what you are going through is linked to where you are going through. And look at Mandela. He went to prison for 27 years. It was those years in prison that was able to discover some things about himself. He was able to discover his deep fight against apartheid. So that you are going through something now is not an excuse for you not to discover yourself. It's even like an advantage. So you can look beyond your pain to discover your purpose. Until you discover the purpose in your pain will remain painful. So I want us to know that in Africa, we need youth that have actually discovered their path, youth that have actually discovered their place. It is those set of youth that will transform Africa. And lastly, in Africa, there's no discovery, there's no recovery without discovery. We need to discover ourselves before we can recover. The reason why Africa has not recovered is because we have not discovered ourselves. I say it again, the reason why Africa has not yet recovered is because we have not discovered ourselves. In fact, I will tell you that those, the Europeans, the Americans, they know us more than we know ourselves. They know us more than we know ourselves. So we need to go on a journey of self-discovery to find our path, our place as youth, and transform our society. The next slide. Now, the fourth mindset, it is to go digital. You see, we are in the era of digital skill revolution. And I want to say this emphatically, an analog mind cannot transform a digital generation. It is not possible. An analog mind, I say it again, an analog mind cannot transform a digital generation. You see, this generation that we are is a digital generation. You want to order, you want to buy data, you do it online. You want to buy food, you do it online. You want to buy shoes, you do it online. You want to buy, so we are in a digital generation. And those that will transform, the youth that will transform Africa in this generation, they must be digitally minded. See, if you want to be a tool of transformation in Africa, even in the whole world, acquire digital skills. Acquire digital skills. And I'm going to itemize some. Can I move to the next slide? I've itemized 11 digital skills. That is very, very, very important. Even if you cannot acquire these 11, I want you to design a plan. In the next 4 months, how do I want to acquire 2 of these digital skills? You can even do it gradually. mobile app, mobile application. Is a now everything now is mobile app. Whatever it is that you want to do, there's an app for everything presently. So mobile app development. Number 2, data analytics. Number 3, coding. Number 4, video creation and editing. Number 5, digital marketing. In fact, marketing has gone digital now. Number 6, web development. Number 7, graphic design. At least know a particular program that you can use to do graphic design. It can be CorelDRAW, can be Photoshop. At least have a knowledge in one of these graphic design programs. Then artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. When you talk about blockchain, we're talking about cryptocurrency, cyber security, then also digital project management. You know, in terms of project management, the world has gone digital. Sometimes when I ask some youth, I ask them, do you know about Agile? Do you know about Scrum? Those are formats for project management. But it will amaze you that the youth of today, they don't really know much about these digital skills. So please, I want you to look at these 11 digital skills and ask yourself, you know, do a digital skill update or what I call analysis. What out of these 11, which one do I have? And which one do I need to develop myself in? It's very, very, very important. Next slide, please. Now, the next one is to get a mentor. Youth that will transform Africa will be youth that are accountable, will be youth that are mentored, and also youth that now goes extra mile to mentor others. Isaac Newton said something. He said, for those of us that Isaac Newton is a major figure when it comes to the field of physics. He said, if I have seen farther than others, it is because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. So as a youth, whose shoulder are you actually standing on? I have observed that the major problem of youth is not money, it is mentoring. Sometimes some youth will come to me and say, I don't have money. And the first thing I ask them, you don't have money, do you have a mentor? You realize they don't have a mentor because money without mentoring is useless. So the truth of life is that if you want to go further in your generation, then get a father. That's a quote by Bishop Oyedepo. He said, if you want to go further in your generation, get a father, get a mentor. See, behind every successful person, there's a mentor who helped them along the way. Behind, you know, some of the most influential people in history, we are encouraged to succeed by some of the most well-known people of their time. We've been hearing of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. I want us to know this. You see, Socrates mentored Plato. Plato mentored Aristotle. Now, Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great, but the danger was that Alexander the Great did not mentor anybody, and his legacy actually died with him. Please, can we move to the next slide, please? So mentoring is very, 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 very important. Another example, Thomas Edison mentored Henry Ford. Steve Jobs was mentored by William Hewlett. William Hewlett is one of the co-founder of HP. That's where you derive the H of HP from. Hewlett. It's by Hewlett and Packard. So Hewlett mentored Steve Jobs. Now, Oprah Winfrey was mentored by Maya Angelou. Then the former Apple CEO, late Steve Jobs, served as a mentor to Mark Zuckerberg. So you can see that link. You need to find a mentor. Apart from finding a mentor, also you need to look out for people that you can also mentor with the knowledge that you have acquired. You know, and I put this to everybody here on this platform. You see, live your life in such a way that someone can look at you and say, because of you, I didn't give up. Can somebody look at you and say, because of you, I didn't give up? So don't just be, you know, if you look at the mindset 5, it said, get a mentor and be a mentor. So don't just be a mentor, also be a mentor to someone else. And I said something, said, if you are not a mentor, you are a tormentor. For all of us that we are on this platform, I am saying it for the opting time. If you are not a mentor, you are a mentor. If you are not a mentor, you are a tormentor. If you look at it, the sign, it rhymes in a way. So find a mentor And after you have acquired the knowledge, also be a source of mentor, to other people. So that's the fifth mindset, being under a mentor. Now, the sixth mindset is having a global perspective. You see, the youth that will transform Africa, they must have a global mindset. See, you can be local geographically, but be global in expression. You can be local geographically. You can be in Bere in Ibadan and be transforming the whole of Africa. You don't need to be everywhere. The only thing you just need to do is to express yourself globally. See, never be limited by the confines of your environment. Your audience are not only in your community. Your audience are everywhere across the globe. So we must cultivate the mindset to find a healthy nexus between local adaptation and global standardization. So no matter where you are, I've been able to mentor some youth on Tony Elumelu platform. There was a time, can we move to the next slide, please? There was a time I mentored a youth on the Tony Elumelu platform from Rwanda. He was trying to design, produce powdered porridge with multivitamins. Previously he was doing it in a very local way. And I said, look, do you know that this powdered porridge, you can put multivitamins into it? Because there are some people, they don't have they are in, there are some Africans in abroad, they don't have the patience to do porridge. Just pour the powder and it turns to porridge. And at the end of the day, was able to fortify it with multivitamins. And it was now selling beyond Rwanda, not just only Rwanda, Africans across the globe were able to buy. And also about some years ago, like 7 years ago, I mentored some youth that they package Gary with multivitamins. There are so many Africans across the globe, that would like to get fortified Gary. So whatever product you have, repackage your product for a global reach. Don't just stay in Nigeria and you are only looking at Nigeria. If you want to transform Africa, you need to have a global mindset. Think globally and also act locally. So the youth that will transform Africa must have a global mindset. Can I move to the next slide, please? Now, the seventh mindset, and I can assure us this happens a lot. Today, I went out to buy newspaper, around UI. And when you get there, there's a newspaper stand around UI. You see so many youth there. You normally come there to buy newspaper, and then you see everybody holding a piece of newspaper, and people will be finding fault, blaming the government. And I look at myself. What you are doing here, you come here every day, find fault, and at the end of the day, there's no solution being proffered. So let's brainstorm, not blamestorm. I say it again. As youth, you must have this mindset of brainstorming and not blamestorming. And George Washington Carver said something, he said, 90% of failure comes from those who have the habit of making excuses. You see, the world will never be transformed by people that are making excuses or finding faults. The world will only be transformed by the people that are finding solutions to what? To problems. The people that are taking responsibility. Somebody said something, said, lame people blame people. When you see something going wrong in your environment, sit down, think about it, brainstorm, and proper solution. So you can't transform your community when you are so full of excuses. It's not possible. Youth that will transform Africa, they are not youth that are finding excuses. They are not youth that are finding, making blames. Some people find fault like there's a reward for it. So the youth that will, and I want us to underline this, people that will make maximum impact, make minimum excuses. If you want to make maximum impact, you must make minimum excuses. That's the secret. And you can see this man there, Nicholas James, they call him Pastor James, with no limbs, with no arms, and he's making impact across the globe. He's a youth coach. He's mobilizing an army of youth, letting them know, look, if I am without legs, I'm without hands, and I'm impacting the globe, you also can do the same. Now look at the man, no arm, no legs, and he's impacting his environment. So as a youth, what excuse do you have? What excuse do you have? So please, let's drop this act of blamestorming. Let us begin to brainstorm. Let's find practical solutions to problem. The next slide. I'm still on brainstorming and brainstorming. Benjamin Franklin said something, he said, I never knew a man who was good at making excuses, who was good at anything else. You see, you cannot be good at making excuses and also be good at finding solution. You have to take one. It's either you are good at finding solution or you are good at making excuses. You can't be good at making excuses and you are good at finding solution. The world owes you nothing. And you know, shortly, I want to say something about entitlement and victim mentality. People with entitlement and victim mentality always believe that the world owes them something. And that's why you see youth gathering something somewhere. They'll be talking about the government, about the governor, about the minister. But the question to ask yourself, what problem do you want to solve in your community? So stop attaching your failures to the government or your background. Take responsibility. See, it is a total loss of control when you are holding other people responsible for the situation in your own life. You know, you are never responsible for your own situation. It is other people. It's either it is the government or your teacher that failed you or your parent that did this. Why can't you sit down and ask yourself, in which way am I contributing to the problem in my life? And start finding solutions instead of finding excuses. So the seventh mindset is that we must brainstorm and not blame storm. Next slide. Now, the number 8 mindset is that people that would the youth that would transform Africa, they have other forms of intelligence. I want to say this, you see, when we go to school most of the time, they normally evaluate our IQ. And I just want us to know, you see, IQ is just one of the 6 intelligent quotients. It doesn't, your IQ does not determine how far you go in life. So there are like 5, 6 forms of intelligence. So, but IQ is highly exaggerated. You see, I don't know if we have time, you can Google that name, Christopher Langan. Presently, is the man with the highest IQ ever. But is a bouncer at a club in the United States. The man with the highest IQ, but yet unsuccessful. So you need to acquire other forms of intelligence. If you are a youth, you want to transform your environment, you see, the world will not be transformed through your IQ. It is not IQ that will transform the world. Look at what Bill Gates said there. He said, I failed in some subjects in exam, but my friend passed in all. Now he's an engineer in Microsoft, and I am the owner of Microsoft. When they were in school, the guy was making A+. But at the end of the day, Bill Gates was able to acquire other intelligence that is beyond IQ. And today, he has employed the man. So you need, and what are those forms of inquiry? We know intelligent quotient very well. That's IQ. This is what helps one to understand academic concept. This is what helps one to know books, solve arithmetic, memorize things, and recall subject matter. But that is not everything about you as a youth. If you want to transform Africa, want to transform your environment, you need to see beyond your intelligence quotient. The second one there is emotional quotient. This is what makes someone to be able to maintain peace with others, keep to time, be responsible. You know, in Africa now, we have what is called African time. Say the meeting is 1 and you are there 1:45. You know, I've seen a governor here in Nigeria. He was supposed to have a meeting 1 p.m. and the man came 3:30, like around 3:30 p.m. And when he came in, people were still hailing him. In America, in abroad, people will walk out. So this issue of, you know, not keeping to time, you know, emotional intelligence encompasses all those aspects. Being responsible, being honest, respecting boundaries, being humble, being genuine, being considerate. Those are the common indicators that are under emotional intelligence. The next one, we also have social quotient. Can we go to the next slide? Social quotient. This is the measure of your ability to build a network of friends and maintain the network over a long period of time. The man that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, said, great people network while the poor, they look for work to do. So networking, it's very, very important. So social quotient measures that. Then adversity quotient. This measures your resilience and how a person responds to difficult situations. How can you bounce back from discouragement when you fail? Look at Thomas Edison. He failed at, he wanted to design the light bulb. He failed at it 999 times. But at the 1000th time, he got it. You know, ability to bounce back, And, you know, when Thomas Edison died and they wanted to honor him, all over the world, they put the light off, all over the world, because they want the whole world to see how he made the world. Because he made the world with candles, lantern. At the end of the day, he invented the light bulb. So they asked them to put the light off all over the world just to honor him. I'm sorry that I need to say this. They don't need to come. Then they didn't come to Nigeria because, you know, the light was already off. NEPA has already, that's just by the way. So all over the world, they put the light off just to honor him. So adversity quotient, then also creativity and curiosity quotient. This measures the sense of, you know, how you navigate through problems, how you innovate, how you adapt to changes, how you think outside the box. So youth that will transform Africa must not just go to school to acquire intelligence quotient. They must have other forms of intelligence. Then the other, there's a particular one that I didn't write here, and that has to do with financial intelligence. You see, you can be a guru in your career and still be an investor financially. I'm sorry that I need to say that. So there are other forms of intelligence that has to be acquired for you to transform your environment. So please, youth, let's go beyond IQ. Let's acquire other intelligent quotients. You know, let's create a network, ability to overcome challenges. You know, those Bishop Adelakun said, those that give up don't go up. Adversity quotient. How do you think outside the box? That's creativity, curiosity quotient. So youth that will transform Africa must have other forms of intelligence. And that is the mindset number 8. Can we move to the next one? Now, the next one is that they go extra mile. They go extra mile. Charles Kendall said something, he said, no one ever attains success by simply doing what is required of him. It is the amount of excellence over and above the required that determines the greatness of ultimate distinction. So what separates you from others? It is what you are doing extra. So as youth that will want to transform our society or the society, we must cultivate the habit of going extra mile. If you read very well about the stories of people that transformed the world, you will realize that they went extra mile. The youth that will transform Africa will be those with the extra mile factor. Their bit of going extra mile will always put you ahead of your colleague. You know, when they ask you to do this, whether you're playing, and let me tell you something, wherever you are, you can imbibe this extra mile factor. They ask you to submit something in the next 2 weeks. Why can't you submit it the next week? They ask you to come somewhere 9 a.m. Why can't you be there by 8:30? Going extra mile, going extra mile. Let's go to the next slide. So the youth that will transform Africa, they are the youth that are going extra mile. Look at what T.S. Eliot said. He said, only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. So the habit and work ethic of going extra mile is one of the distinguishing qualities between ordinary and extraordinary people. Stephen Organ said something. He said, you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. And I want to emphasize this, that this is one of the greatest affliction of our civil service. You know, people in the civil service, they go there. Sometimes some people come by 11 and they close by 1:30. You know, that's that minimum wage work ethic. So he said you cannot have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. So only those who go extra mile can find out how far they can go. So I want to encourage the youth, while we are moving to the next slide, that cultivate that habit of going extra mile. Put in extra. Then the 10th mindset is about character. I want to say this: character is everything. Character is everything. Billy Graham said something. He said, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. He said, but when health is lost, something is lost. Then when character is lost, all is lost. I say it again. When wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. But when character is lost, all is lost. The youth that will, if there's the greatest affliction in Africa today, I can say everything stems from character defect. Is it corruption? It's from character defect. Look at the major problem we have from, in Africa today. We have people that are educated. It's the issue of character. Issue of character. I don't want to mention names now. We see them, everywhere. Even they call them to come and defend something in the National Assembly, and there's this skill of fainting now in the National Assembly and some other thing. And you see these are eminent people, but it is not how eminent you are that will solve the problem in your society. It's your character. So youth in Africa must imbibe the right character to transform Africa. Mas Dipri said something, said we cannot become what we need by remaining what we have. There's a lot of character issue. As you can see from the picture that is there, a flat tire. Somebody said, a bad character is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere with it. A bad character is like a flat tire. No matter how beautiful the car is, no matter how expensive the car is, you cannot go anywhere with a flat tire. And that is what character is doing to our youth. And the former president of the United States of America, the third president, Thomas Jefferson of the United States of America, Thomas Jefferson said, nothing can stop the man with the right character from achieving his goal. He said, nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong character. I say it again, nothing on earth can stop the man with the right character from achieving his goal. Also, nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong character. So we need to look at this issue of character. As youth, we want to transform our environment. You go to work, they ask you to fill the attendance. You came in 8:05. You write 7:30. Character defect. So we need to know that the youth that will transform Africa, they are the youth that are above board when it comes to the issue of character. In fact, a bad character is life's greatest liability. Can I move to the next slide? Now, we all know about R. Kelly very well. I grew up, with his, some of us, we know this song, I Believe I Can Fly. I believe I can touch the sky. About some, last year, actually the case has been on for like 3 years ago. But last year he was convicted. And at the end of the day, this man might be spending like around 20-something years in prison. And why? This man can sing so well. In fact, very sonorous voice, if you look at the lyric and the content of his song, magnificent. But he has this character defect for young girls. And he was abusing them silently until he was caught. I did a write-up in The Guardian. If you have time, you can Google it. It said, the decay of Brother Kelly, the character that stink will eventually sink. Any character that stink will sink the owner at the end of the day. So to educate a man in mind and not in moral is to educate a menace to the society. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving in the people. So character is very, 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 very important in life. You need more than a willing spirit to fulfill destiny. You need a conquered flesh. I want to emphasize that statement again. In life, you need more than a willing spirit to fulfill destiny. You need a conquered flesh. Can we move to the next slide, please? Now, I'm rounding off now because the last will be mindset 12. This is mindset 11, second to the last. They look for opportunities and platform, not jobs. Now listen to this. I'm not saying that you should not look for jobs, but looking for jobs should not be your ultimate aim. Look for opportunities and platform to transform your environment. Richard Branson said something. He said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do this, say you can do it and learn how to do it later. Look for, youth that will transform Africa. They are the youth that are looking for opportunities, looking for platform to bless others, to transform the world. The world will not be transformed by youth looking for jobs. I'm saying this again. The world will not be transformed by youth looking for jobs. It will be transformed by the youth who can see and seize opportunities. So in your environment, what opportunity are you actually seizing in your environment? The people that will transform the world are not those that are making a living. They are those that are making a difference. I say that again. The youth that will transform Africa, they are not those that are making a living. Though making a living is very, very important, but they are the youth that are what? Making a difference. So making a living must not be your destination. Make a living. It's good to make a living, but it must not be your destination. Your destination should be making a difference in your community. Can I move to the next slide? So now look at Aliko Dangote. I'm going to give you, some of us will hear of Aliko Dangote today, but I want to say something about Aliko Dangote that probably some of us we've never heard of before. Now, in 1977, there was something that was done. They call it First Tax 77. Some of us that we are, some people that are very grown up will remember First Tax 77 when, all the countries in Africa, they came with their cultural heritage and some other thing. And then they needed to start construction in First Tax. So it was Dangote that seized that opportunity. So he was the one that supplied all the cement that was used in building the houses in First Tax. If you go to First Tax today, all those houses that you see, built by government, but are now owned by individual, the license to supply the cement, it was Dangote that saw the opportunity. But at the end of the day, he sat down and said, look, if I can supply cement, because he actually imported those cement, said, look, I can sit down here and manufacture the cement. And he started manufacturing cement. And Dangote group of companies came up in 1978 because he was able to seize the opportunity in 1977. Then also, I want to talk about Tommy Hilfiger. I know the youth of today, we know designer brand very well. You know Calvin Klein, you know Tommy Hilfiger, and some other people like that. So I want to tell us a short story about Tommy Hilfiger. Many years ago, two youths, they went to India. They came there with a large sum of money. They wanted to invest. So when they got there, they saw that the people were, and about so many, like I'm talking about like 30, 40 years ago, 50 years, like 40, 50 years ago. India was like the headquarters of poverty then. So the people there were not wearing shoes. So somebody looked at those and said, look, I'm going back to the state. These people are not wearing shoes. Let me change my location. But the other person said, no, these people are not wearing shoes. Let me change situation. So at the end of the day, Tommy Hilfiger ordered for plastic shoes that he called a company in the United States. Can you manufacture plastic shoes for me with recycled plastic? It was so cheap that the Indians could afford. And that was how Tommy Hilfiger made his first $1 million. The other guy said, situation is so bad here, let me change location. But somebody said, no, situation is bad here, let me change situation. So as a youth, don't just be changing location, moving from one place to the other. Where you are, how can you change the situation there? So the youth that will transform Africa, they are not the one changing location. They are the one changing situation. It's very, very, very important. So you must have that mindset of looking for opportunities and platform and looking for how you can change situation in your environment. The next slide. Now, the last form of mindset is about relationship. You see, relationship matters. Relationship matters. And I want to, I'm speaking to the youth out there. You see, everything you want in life, and I want you to underline that everything you want in life is a relationship away. Everything that you want in life is a relationship away. There's nothing relationship cannot get for you. I wrote a write-up in the Guardian. I said, relationship is another stream of income. So it is not enough to have talent and skills. You must understand the power of building valuable relationships. So relationship are resources. In actual sense, people don't really lack money. It's that they lack relationship. So don't say you lack money. You don't lack money. You lack relationship. When you have the right relationship, money will flow to you. Solutions will begin to come. You sit down with some mastermind group and you begin to solve problems. Money will begin to come. So youth that will be agent of transformation are always highly connected. You cannot change the world in isolation. Brian Tracy said something. He said, your choice of people you associate with will have more impact on what you become than any other single factor. Personally, I have realized, many years ago that our company determines what accompanies us in life. I say it again, our company determines what accompanies us in life. So listen to this. We are not going to change the world through energy. We are going to change the world through synergy. So how are you networking as a youth? How are you networking? You know, if you have a strength, look for somebody that his or her strength is in your area of weakness. Come together. Let's move to the next slide. Can we move to the next slide? Have a mastermind group. We all know there's somebody called Napoleon Hill. He was the one that brought out this issue of mastermind group. You know, he said a mastermind group is two minds working together, actively together in perfect harmony towards a common definite objective. It can be two, it can be three, it can be more. And I just want to say this. I'm sharing my own personal example. I have some people that we sit together every month to think on problems and how we can provide solution to it. So do you have a mastermind group? People that, you know, the youth of now, they only have people that they discuss sport with. They know what is going on in Manchester United. They know what, but they don't have people that they sit down with and they solve problems together. And that's why Africa is not being transformed. Because we always, I'm not saying we should not discuss sport, we should not, but are you solving problem? Then lastly, I want to share something with us. You know, as a relationship coach, I use a process called RAT. I call it Relationship Audit Test, RAT, R-A-T, Relationship Audit Test. You see, if you want to evaluate people in your circumference of influence, because you need to cut off from some people. Now, there are 5 indicators. Each indicator is 20 marks. Everything makes all over 100. By the time you do this test, if you have people that score below 40, you need to recheck them. If you have somebody scoring 10 or 20, you need to cut them off totally. And what are those indicators? So what you do is this, you take a piece of jotter and write out all the names of people that you cannot avoid to talk to in a month and do the relationship test audit. Now, what will you do? Look at those 5 points that are actually asterisk, then give them 20. This one is 5 all over 20. This one is 20. Now, what are those indicators? Number 1, how have they been helping you discover yourself? I want you to do that for just one person now. You can write the name of the person is Sheyi, the person is Bola. Number 1, how have they been helping you to discover yourself? Grade the person all over 20. Number 2, how have they been investing into your growth? Grade the person all over 20 again. Number 3, how have they been helping you in your journey of personal development? All over 20 also. Number 4, how have they been stretching you to accomplish your goals and aims in life? Because you need to be stretched. You need people that can stretch you beyond your comfort zone. So these people, how have they been stretching you to accomplish your goals in life? Give them all over 20. Then the last one, very, very important. How have they been helping you to develop your relationship with God? So now grade it. What is the score of that person? You don't need to mention their name. You can just call them. And so if their score is 10, 20, 30, please, I'm not saying you pray that they die. No. You just keep a distance. You know what to discuss with them. They are not people you are supposed to be discussing with every day, every time. But if they are 50, they are 60, they are 70, the more they go on that scale, the more you need to work together with them. So I call it relationship audit test. And I want you to do this for everybody in your circumference of influence. Everybody. Because relationship matters. The youth that will transform Africa. I say it again, they will not transform Africa through their energy. They will transform Africa through their synergy. Now, the last is, you know, as a coach, I normally end my teaching with action steps. So I'm going to give us 12 action steps, one each from those mindsets, 12 action steps. Number 1, and please, if you need my help in this area, you can reach out to me anytime. Number 1, how can you design a strong vision statement? Looking at your core values, your goals, your dream, target audience, aim, and purpose in life. Write out a clear and striking vision statement. I told us earlier, mine is empowering youth to becoming agent of transformation locally and globally. Wake me up, even when I'm sleep talking, I will say it because it's so much. Do you have that vision statement? So, and how do you design vision statement? You have to look at your values, your goals, your dream, your target audience. If you look at my vision statement, you see my target audience here, empowering youth. You look at your aim, your purpose in life, then use it to write out a clear and striking vision statement. If you are finding a problem on doing this, you find it very challengeable, you can connect with African Young Brain. They will give you my WhatsApp number. You can, just connect with me. I will help you develop a striking vision statement for free. So I'm not going to collect anything for that. Then the second one, itemize your skills, gifts, talent, and unique abilities, and look outwardly for the problems that you can solve with them in your community. Sit down with Biro. What skills do I have? What is my gift? What is my talent? What are my unique abilities? Then when you now list all those things, also list out the problems in your community and ask yourself, how can I use all this to solve this problem? Then the third one is called a psychometric test. I know some of you might not have heard of psychometric test before. Psychometric test is a group of test questions that gives you an idea of your area of strength, weakness, your unique abilities, and how you are, and the best career path to follow in life. In my school, where we are, Educational Advancement Center, we make sure any student that is coming into school, they will do the psychometric test. No matter, regardless of what the parents are saying, we'll tell them, look, this is the area, because there's some people, they want their child to become a doctor, and God has programmed that child as a teacher, you know, like that. So you can just Google, how can I do a psychometric test? Do we have free versions online? So do it. They will just ask you some set of questions. Then after that, they will send it back to your email on your set, you know, your strength, your weakness, career path that you should follow, and how you can make your, you know, the society better through them. Then number 4, which I said earlier, you know, I listed 11 digital skills. I want you to design a plan of how you want to acquire 8, just 8. It might not even be you might not need the whole of the 11, but I advise you to walk through the list of the 11. So design a plan of how you want to acquire 8 of these skills in the next 2 years. How do I want to know how to develop app? How do I want to know one of the designing, you know, the graphic designing app or program? How do I want to use it? How do I want to use it? Your own might be CorelDRAW, your own might be Photoshop, you know, it's very, very important. So make it in the next 2 years, 8 in the next 2 years. That means 4 every year. It's not too much. And you can be learning them, you know, together. It's not something that you are learning one. I can be learning this and learning this with it. Then the 5th one is, you know, there's no man that is self-made. Take conscious effort to reach out to people that can mentor you in your area of interest. Also, be a mentor to other youth in your circumference of influence. And let me tell you something about mentorship. It is not always one-on-one. There are some people that I've never seen before, but they are mentoring me through their books. There's something I do every day. I'm in this mentoring something with John C. Maxwell. They call it 1 minute with Maxwell. So I spend 1 minute of my time with John Maxwell every day. It's free subscription. You can Google it, 1 minute with Maxwell. So early in the morning, he will release a topic and he will discuss it for 1 minute. So it's not compulsory that those people must be people that you will see face to face, though there's a place for face to face. But who are those people that they mentor you through their books? And electronically also is very, 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 very important. Don't forget, also be a mentor to somebody. You know, I told us earlier, if you are not a mentor, you are a tormentor. Then number 6, no matter what you are doing, repackage yourself and your product to have a global appeal and maximize social media. Maybe you are a fashion designer. Design clothes in such a way that when you put it on Facebook, somebody from Italy can order for it. Somebody from Rwanda can order for it. You don't need to design only for the people that are around you. You know, the era of social media now, you know, has made it in such a way that you can design your product to have a global appeal, and you can sell it online. Facebook. I've seen people selling cakes online. They just say, how much is this cake? And the person is in Ibadan, and the person that wants to buy the cake is in Lagos. So design your product. Any products you are doing, design it in such a way to have a global appeal. If you are designing shoes, you can design shoes that they can take to Italy. You know, I believe that a time will come for Africa where some of the shoes that we are manufacturing here, they will be taking it to Italy. So design your product in such a way to have what? A global appeal. The next slide, please. So action point number 7, making excuses is a waste of creativity. You see, instead of using your creativity to design an excuse, use your creativity to design solution. I've made up my mind. I will never use my creativity to design an excuse. My creativity is meant to solve problems. You see some people, when they give excuse, you see a lot of creativity in that excuse. You know that this person is creative. for you to come out with this kind of excuse. So this, have this habit of don't be caught with an excuse. Always find a solution. Henry Ford said something. He said, find a solution, not an excuse. Find a solution, not an excuse. Find a solution, find a remedy and not an excuse. Then the number 8, I want us, the mindset number 8, I discussed on the different type of intelligence. So I want you to read this book on emotional intelligence by Jim Greaves, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. It's a book that Jim Greaves and Bradbury, it has actually impacted my life. Then number 9, cultivate the habit of always going extra mile in every responsibility given to you. Anytime you are, and our Lord Jesus Christ said it, he said, if somebody asks you to go 1 mile, he said, go 2. That's extra mile that he was teaching us. Look at the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgin. The wise virgin, they came with extra oil, but the foolish, they didn't come with extra oil and they miss eternity. So your ability to go extra mile would determine how far you can go in life. Now, number 10, what is your biggest character flaw? And what are the steps you take to overcome them? I mentioned briefly about Alexander the Great. If you go to the tomb of Alexander the Great, they wrote something there. It said, Alexander the Great, the man that conquered the whole world, but could not conquer himself. He was destroyed, at the age of 33, he has conquered all the then world. He has conquered Egypt. In fact, today, you have city of Alexandria in Egypt. He has conquered India, everywhere. Babylon, he overthrew Babylon, everywhere. But at the end of the day, it was a moral defect that destroyed Alexander the Great. I don't want to go into what that moral defect is now. You can study it. But please, what is your biggest character flaw? And don't forget Achilles' heel. We all have weaknesses. What do we do? How do you want to subject yourself to another person that will hold you accountable? It's very, very important. Then the second to the last action, that's not 11. Everything is not about money. Youth out there, I'm saying it again. Everything is not about money. Somebody said something, said, some people are so poor, all they have is money. Some people, they are so poor, all they have is money. So it's not everything that's about money. So look out for platforms and opportunity to add values to others. The reason why I'm here on this platform today is not because of money. It's because I wanted to reach out and impact you. So take advantage of platform to impact. If money is involved, no problem. But let your core purpose be looking for platforms and opportunity to transform lives. Then the last one, though we've done this, but I'm just still going to say it again. Write out the names of 10 people. We talked about relationship. We've done RAT, which is relationship audit. But this one, I want you to appreciate 10 people that have contributed immensely to your growth. So write out the names of 10 people that have immensely contributed to your growth over the years. Send them all messages to show profound appreciation. Why? It is because it is only a grateful that will not be grateful. So be grateful to the relationship that has helped you in your journey of personal development. It's very, very, very important. So I want us to take these action steps, work on it, and I can assure you, if you work on these 12 action points, you will be amazed at what you will turn out to become. I can assure you, you start featuring in the list of youth transforming their community. God bless you. I think the last slide is just about appreciation. Can the last slide is, can we move to the last slide? The last slide, please. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, I think I'm asking, they should move to the last slide. I'm through.
Okay, just a minute.
Okay.
Something is wrong here. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but I'm actually through. The last slide is just to appreciate.
Okay, thank you so much. I think there's a something here that has hindered me from moving the slide. But can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I'm actually through. We can stop it here, actually.
Okay, thank you very, very, very much. We all agree that we should put our hands together and appreciate our speaker. He has done extremely well. I appreciate you and the entire team. We are very, very grateful for this presentation. And
You're welcome.
can all of us clap? I've unmuted everybody, or probably you unmute yourself. Let's clap our hands. Let's say thank you to him.
Thank you so much, sir.
A great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Good. I sincerely appreciate Mr. Benga Adebambo. It has been a wonderful time from the beginning to the end of this presentation. We've learned a lot and a lot. If not because of our time, I will ask the students that are in the class to brief us what they have learned, because this is a training session and we have the cohort participant with us. We have Jide Dia, Baba Jide Adedoja. Can you unmute yourself?
What did you say now?
Hello? Hello? Okay, I have somebody here that I want to summarize what he has. Hello? Blessing Joseph. Blessing Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, can you summarize the presentation, what you have gained?
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for this great opportunity once again. I've really learned a lot from the class, and in its summation of it all, let me start with the relationship aspect. I've learned to invest more and be intentional in my relationship, because the youths that will bring changes to the African have to do that through synergy. Hence, it's also boys in the relationship, the contents of the relationship I have around me. More so, I need to look at I don't need to live my life on sentiments. Maybe because of being so emotionally attached with people, because I have to first of all look out for what are the values, what are the impacts, what are the things they are investing in my life, and also what values am I giving out to them. So anybody that doesn't meet this criteria, I have to distance the person. Not that I'm going to cut off the person, but know those I bring to my inner circle. They must have a vision of what they want to offer to the world, and they must have the same values with me as well, in order to cause changes to the global world. Secondly, as I'm being mentored to become an effective leader, a transformational leader the world needs, the Africa needs, I need to submit myself to a mentor, not just basically what I want to get. Yes, I need to be trained and also add value in return, because even the mentors are being submitted to, they also have their own needs. Hence, I need to look out for opportunities and platforms. As I'm being trained, I also give out in order to also train others as well, because life is not about being self-centered or looking out for what you will get from someone. There is still something someone needs despite the age of that person. So through that, and it boils down in services. As I'm being mentored, as they are pouring out on me, ensuring for my growth, I need to look out for opportunity to serve them, pouring water on them, in order to also the oil that is upon them will run into my life. Then I also need to upgrade my digital skills, because the world itself is going global. So if I'm not effective in that area, I will be limited based on the skills I have. So I need to upgrade to the global world, reinvent myself to where the world is going to, because the person that will transform the Africa is someone who has the understanding of time and season of where the world is going to. Using the issue of the Bible, children of Issachar, they had the understanding, they also knew the strategies. Having an understanding and having the strategies of what to do is paramount. So I need to have the understanding of where the world is going to and upgrade myself to that level. Also, I need to discover myself fully, who I am, my parts. Then when I discover myself and my parts, everything I need, the resources I need, everything I need will be in that part. I'll focus in that. This will make me not to be in competition with anybody on earth as long as I'm in my parts and working in my part, because my purpose, everything I need to fulfill my purpose will be in that part. So every African youth rising to be a generational leader to transform the world needs to discover the path, focus in that, and stop looking into other people's paths, because those people that are doing very well in life have discovered their path and they stayed there, their eyes became single in what they are doing. So to be a leader that will transform the African, I need to discover my path, focus on that, while I still collaborate with others and not be a loner or in isolation, and collaborate with them, get what they have, because no man has it all. But the major thing is that I must focus in my own part while I collaborate with others and keep working together to change the world at large. Then I also need to be I don't know if my time I've spoken much enough. Okay, let me just summarize it up with this last point. To be a local, to be a leader, my environment is not really what matters. Anywhere I am, I can reach the global world. What matters is having the global values that the world needs. So I should not be limited based on my geography. I can be in let me say I'm in Ibadan. I can still touch the 77 countries of the world, yes. But what matters is upgrade myself to their standard, inculcate their values, that even if at all I'm in my room, I can be in my room and be a voice to the nations that will transform the Africa. I think I will just stop here because of time. Once again, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you. That's great. That's great. It shows that we are taking notes. I'm very, very happy that we have Mr. Gbenga Adebambo with us today. On the platform, we have some of our leaders who are behind African Young Brains. We have what we call Leaders for Leaders. I set up that platform, Leaders for Leaders for African Foundation. Mr. Adebambo is on that platform, and it's more than 5 years we have been on that platform, and they are behind African Young Brain. African Young Brain is actually managing, bringing together young people, young professionals, and helping to support them. And you can see from what we've learned today, we cannot be the same again. And those that are in cohort 1, you are privileged. I'm telling you, you are privileged. So I will allow you to ask your question directly. Just mute yourself and ask your question. The first person, just unmute yourself and ask the question. I want to give opportunity for 3 people to ask. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name?
That is Olua.
If you're
I really appreciate being able to be in attendance to a group. And, so I would like to ask Mr. Adebambo for the first mission statement, knowing what you want to stand for. Let me put it like that. So I want to ask: is it possible for someone's statement to change? Let me make it more explanatory. Let's assume the person grew up in a local environment and looking at things in the environment, you were being stereotyped to that location. So later you move out and probably for exposure. And then you find out that this other thing you discovered is even more tasking. Or maybe when you were in your local location, you had the mindset of having building a big cyber cafe. Now the world has evolved and nobody's running to a cafe to do anything. So is it possible to, as time changes, to have a change in one statement or what one plan to do or what one plan to stand for? So that's mine. And secondly, this is just like a contribution. Like on the aspect of the courses he said we should go for. On the aspect of the course, he mentioned some skills that we should learn, plan for like after 1 or 2 years, plan to do those skills. So as on my own part, I think one of the major aspects where someone can do that is on Udemy, this online course platform, where people learn, Udemy. So I will drop a link on the chat because some of the courses on Udemy are money-based. You have to, but there's a site I discovered that has a coupon that you can take those courses for free. So if anybody's interested, I will just drop the site on the chat so that anybody can use it. You can see the courses that you want to go for, and if peradventure is available on that site, you can use it. So that's other. But my own question is just: is it possible for someone to have a change on that mission statement or what one stand for? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we have another question? Zabinga Debambo can take 2 questions together. Anyone with another question? Okay, Mr. Benga, you can go ahead and answer that question. You can unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I want to say, forming a vision statement is one of the critical things that I help company and individual to involve. But there's something that is called vision statement review. You review your vision statement every time. So some companies, they review theirs every 2 years, every 5 years. So individually also, you are permitted to review your vision statement. Why? Because your vision statement is as relevant as it is solving problem in your society. So if you have a vision statement and the problem you want to solve initially is no longer a problem, then you need to upgrade, because problems are being upgraded in the world. The problem that we had 20 years ago is not the problem that we are having now. You understand? For example, now, let's just do this as an example. Let's assume that my vision, I'm a company that is providing chalk. Chalk now that we use for blackboard. Now, okay, my vision is to provide, maybe vision is to provide chalk and blackboard chalk. Now we are not using blackboard chalk. We are using marker now, because we are using whiteboard now. So you review. You need to review your vision. So you don't just set vision statement and go to sleep. Most of the people that set vision, look at the reason why Kodak is no longer existing today, because they did not review their vision statement. They thought that the world will still will be taking photography. They will be taking, they will be involved, their own version, the world evolved beyond Kodak. You remember those times that you have to get a camera to get a video. Now people take pictures on their phone, but they were not able to review that vision statement and they lost out in the market. So you need to review your vision. So yes, if you want me to answer that question, yes, vision statement must be reviewed. They can change, but don't forget this, they change in relative to the problems you want to solve. So you don't just change because you want to change. You need to ask yourself, my vision statement, is it still relevant? How do you measure whether it is relevant? Is it still solving a problem? What is the use of a vision statement that is not solving problem again? So you need to review it. So you can review your vision statement. I think that is my part at it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we still have anyone with question? I expect you to ask your question. It's a privilege having Mr. Gbenga here.
I have a question, please.
Go ahead. That's a couple, right?
Yes, a couple.
Go ahead. I'll ask you a question.
I want to appreciate a facilitator. I really learned a lot. But my question is based on where you started from. You started from the fact that the problem of Africa is about the mindset and how to change that mindset. So I want to ask, are there some developmental items, books, and all that you can study to really change our mindset, especially if our mindset is not global, right? Sometimes how to ensure that by the time we do that, we orientate us and change the mindset. Maybe there are some books that we can read that can really change the way we think, the way we act, and the way we do things.
Yeah, go ahead. I hope it's very clear. I hope the question is very clear.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to answer that now?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, when we are talking about mindset, there are several ways by which you can work on your mind. Number one, don't forget that mindset is not something you form in a day. You know, it depends on the things that you have been exposed to over the years. Number one, the books you read. That's number one, the kind of the books that you read. Number two, the kind of the friends that you keep. Number three, the people that are mentoring you. Very, 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 very important. So looking at the books you read, friends, then mentoring. It's very, very, for example, now let me give you an example. There was a day I was with somebody and I love the person's mindset around something. And I said, look, I need to connect with this person. And at the end of the day, I collected his phone number, got across, visit him in his office, I brought something along, just because I would like us to be having that once in a while. So to touch up on your mindset, you need to be mindful of the books you read, the friends you keep, then who is mentoring you is very, 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 very important. So those three things are critical. Then you see, the fourth one has to do with faith, but I don't want to go into that now because the Bible says in the book of Romans, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So if you are a religious person, what religious material are you reading that is transforming your mind? You understand? So it's very, 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 very important. So if the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So exposing yourself to the word of God is very, very important. So the books you read, the friends you keep, the people that are mentoring you, and the word of God is very, very important. But if you ask me to recommend a book for you, there's a book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. If you don't have that book, I want you to get it and read it. Think and Grow Rich. But I can still give us a list of up to like 20 books that we can read on mindset. I will get it across to the African Young Brain, then they can share it later. I have like 20 of them, but I can just give them 5.
Thank you, thank you. Do we still have a question? Anyone raising up?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My question is based on the establishment of Tome Fidia. About changing a situation instead of changing the location. So in a situation whereby you are trying to change the situation, but the environment is not encouraging or the environment is not friendly, what can you do at that particular time? And it is taking a long time. That's my question, sir.
Okay, sir. Can I answer that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to answer this question, I want us to use Dangote as an experiment. Now, and I want to say this emphatically. Do you know that there are colleagues of Dangote that have actually, they felt Nigeria was not working and they travel out with their family. Now, I'm not having issues with people that are moving out of the country. We move out for different reasons. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? But my question to you is this. You need to make up your mind on what you want in life. Where you are, do you want to transform where you are? Or do you want to go out and look for a better environment? So I'm not saying people that change location, there's something, no. People change location for so many reasons. I will never stand to judge people that are changing location, but you must know what you want. For example, now, Dangote knew what he wanted. And that's why he's in Nigeria today. And he's in Nigeria today. Now listen to this. Dangote is in Nigeria today. He's the richest in Africa. And everything that he's doing it from Nigeria. And this is the Nigeria that everybody is seeing as unworkable. So where I'm going is this. If you want to learn how to do this, you have a lot to learn from Dangote. A lot to learn. And let me tell you something about Dangote. What he does is this. He listens to people's problem. If people are saying that sugar is expensive, he will look for the local way of how can I provide for sugar. Look at, we are having petroleum issue now, and he tried to build a refinery. So he gleans his own solution from people's excuses, people's fault, people's problem. You understand? Now, to now answer your question, that sometimes that an environment will not be workable. You do everything that you have to do, and it's not workable. Now listen, there's an aspect of changing location. Let me tell you this. There are some companies now that are shifting from America to Israel, to China. You know that there are some companies now that are in China because the cost of obtaining common raw material, it's actually very expensive in America. So they said, okay, let's put our headquarters here in China or in Israel, where those materials are very, very cheap. You understand? So if you want to change location, you should know what you are changing location for. Those companies now, they are changing location because they want to access cheap raw material. So you can change location because you want to go and acquire more knowledge. Maybe you want to go to Harvard, you want to, so you must, I'm not saying you should not change location, but know what you are changing location for. But in Nigeria, in Africa, we have so many youth that they don't know the reason why they are changing location. They just want to travel out. They don't have a specific reason. So if you are somebody that says, look, I believe I still need additional knowledge. I need to get something in Harvard. I need to get something in Stanford. No problem, but you should know the reason why you are changing location. That's my own aspect of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we still have another question? The last question. Last question. Okay, thank you very much. We are very grateful for joining us on this program. It is important for me to let us know the reason why we are having this program. Africa is a big continent. Africa needs young and emerging leaders, people that will make impacts, not just in their own generation, but in the generation to come. And who privileged to be part of the Cohort 1. These Cohort 1 participants were 28 in the class. 2 books were given, and they are actually, they've concluded reading those books, and we are ending this training next Saturday. You that are connected on YouTube, I want you to know that Africa is waiting for you. And you cannot be here listening to all these presentations and remain the same. What is important is your mindset. You need to set goals. You need to have vision. You need to have a statement, and you need to know the direction that you should go. I plead with you, don't take this opportunity for granted. Make sure that you sit down, you reflect on them, you put them to practice so that we can build the next generation for our children. And I pray that as we go to the next phase of this training, that means the second cohort, I believe that we have more people. And as they come and they learn, we have a better community, a better family, a better nation, a better continent, and a better world. I am very, very grateful to Chief Onigbede. He has been with us, and I think he's still online. And I thank God so much for him from the first day to this very day. We have been making every arrangement to ensure he share his own experience with us. And I'm glad that we also have Mr. Benga here with us. You have access to him. And the fact is that once you join African Young Brain, you have access to all our mentors. Almost all our guest speakers are our mentors. So I am very, very grateful, Mr. Benga, for your support, for your encouragement, for the excellent presentation. I jot down, and I'm very, very sure what we have had today will make great impact on everyone. I want us to go out there and make a difference. You cannot remain the same. I will not remain the same. I want the final comments. I don't know whether we still have Professor Olayanju there. Prof, are you still there? Yes, my prof is still there. I want you to give the final remark before we say bye-bye to everyone. Professor Adeniyi Olayanju. My prof.
Muted. Thank you, sir. Once again, I want to congratulate each and every one of us. And I want to especially thank Mr. Gbenga Adebambo for that refreshing and impactful presentation. I think we are better off. Somebody say, knowing what to do and doing it, that is wisdom. Of course, before then, it was said that if you don't know where you are going, every other place will look like it. So having our own personal vision, like he has said, is a thing that every youth must have. It may not be perfect at onset, but you must just have something. Just put pen to paper. Even in the Bible, it was said, write the vision, make it plain. You may not know. So it's better we try and put it and work on. You can always review that visionary goal. Honestly speaking, I think I'm a little bit refreshed and younger because you can't have it. Yeah, honestly, you can't have it all. I've learned a lot of things even from his presentation, and that is how to develop oneself. I want to congratulate all the youths in the house. In fact, somebody will always say, if when we were growing up, we have some of this opportunity, maybe we would have gone further than we had now. And that's the truth of the matter. I think this generation, this set of youth, especially the one you have put together there, they don't have any excuse not to fulfill their purpose in life. You have the direction that is have been put across to us. And also the one that touched me most is that if you are not a mentor, you are a tormentor. Especially for those of us in the academics. A lot of people have turned themselves to tormentor, being Lord over these young ones. But thank God for people like our big Oga at AYB. We really want to appreciate you. The more we hear of this, the more better our youth will become. Once again, we thank you all for being part of this. What if you are invited and you don't come? But that we have come also signifies that we are ready to learn and we are ready to develop our nation, Africa and Nigeria in particular. Thank you all and God bless.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very, very grateful, and I'm excited that next Saturday, please join us in the closing ceremony, and that closing ceremony will be powerful. I will speak, Professor Fola will also speak, and there is a big surprise. I don't know whether I should let it out, but just join us next Saturday. Okay, I say bye-bye to you. I say bye-bye to you. Thank you. Right, thank sir. You. I appreciate you, Mr. Gbenga. Thank you. Can we wave? Just unmute yourself, say something, appreciate, and you can also join African Young Brain on Facebook if you have not joined us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga. The session was
Thank you.
wonderful.
you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, it was really insightful.
Virtual session ending.
Thank you so much.
We have
Thank you, the organizer. Thank you, my pastor, Ben Gadebambo.
Thanks for our African Young Brains.
Tell
Thank you
your
so much.
friend to attend African Young Brain session. And then
Uncle
watch out
Benga,
for
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see my one of my mentor here, Pastor Yeyemi Akibu. Thank you so much. Thank for the love and support.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. I really enjoy myself and
Thank you very much.